The regularly scheduled meeting of the City of Middletown Industrial Development Agency on Tuesday, March 16th to order. I need a roll call.
Andrew Brito. Here. Joseph Cantoli.
Here.
Joe DiStefano. Wayne Hawkins. Here. Dave Madden.
Here. All right. We all have a copy of the minutes from our last meeting, which was February 16th. If you have any questions about those minutes, anybody with questions?
I would move we accept the minutes.
Okay. Do we have a second on that?
I second it.
All right, so we're going to take a roll on this. Mr. Brito? Yes. Mr. Cantoli?
Yes.
Mr. DiStefano? Yes. Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to the third item, our treasurer's report. We have none this month, so now we're going to move on to the presentation of our year-end 2020 audit. I believe we have Linda Hannigan and Donna Crowley from RBT virtually attending this meeting.
Linda and Donna, your microphones are unmuted. If you want to unmute yourselves, and you can make your presentation.
Good afternoon, this is Linda Hannigan and Donna Crowley, a manager on the audit. Thank you for continuing to have RBT as your auditors. This year went very smoothly. We want to thank both Maria and Patty for their help and cooperation. We're going to go over the draft financial statements, which I understand you all have a copy of, and then we'll go over the board report. So first, I call your attention to our opinion letter, which states that the financial statements are fairly stated in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. That's what's known as a clean opinion. We also, I'll mention at the end, we also have a report on compliance with laws and regulations. The second section of the financial statements is the management's discussion and analysis. It shows a overview that's on page 3 of the summary of net position. You'll see that year over year there's a small increase of about $3,200 in total assets and total net position. Page 4 gives you a summary of operations for the year. This year, the total revenues amount to a bit less than $10,000. The expenses were a little less than $6,000, leaving you with an increase in that position of about $3,200. That was relatively, just say, quiet. You'll notice the full financial statements that are on pages 5 through 7 are now comparative. Since we audited both years, we can give you a comparative presentation. We think that that's helpful in understanding your net position and activities for the year. You'll note page 5 is the statement of net position. 6 gives you the statement of activities, and then 7 has the statement of cash flows, which shows you the sources and uses of funds for the year. Overall, your cash increased equivalent to the increase in net assets of $3,200. Following the financial statements, we have your footnotes, which give you more detail about the organization itself, describes the conduit debt, that if there were any, this would be an explanation of what that meant. And then the fact that there's numerous reporting standards that have been issued but don't have any effect on the IDA. We needed to acknowledge that they do exist. Following that, you'll see a report on over controls over financial reporting and on compliance. And I direct you to page 2, where we note that we don't have any findings, which is great. Does anyone have any questions about the financial statements? So Donna, would you like to review the board report?
Yes, thank you, Linda. So you should have received another report along with the financial statements, our report to the board. This, we would start on page 1, which is a couple pages in, and this contains required communication for the audit that we just wanted to relay to you. Among other things, it talks about there was no new accounting policies adopted this year. We didn't identify anything unusual during the audit, which is good. There are no uncorrected misstatements. There's no disagreements with management or any difficulties during the audit. And we can move on to the next page, which just shows a summary of recorded audit adjustments. That is just one audit adjustment that we proposed, and it should be recorded in the accounting system now. So everything would agree. Going on, there isn't anything else to attach because we had no findings or even any suggestions that we found during the audit. And that is it.
It's nice to be able to give a report where we don't have any findings or management suggestions. So thank you to Maria and Patty.
Donna, can you just explain to the board the one change of $500 in the adjustments on page 2?
Yeah, I see that. I can either get back to you, or if you give me a chance, I would have to look that up. At the top of my head, I don't know that.
Donna, this is Maria. Was that the check that was never cashed that goes back prior to 2010?
I think it is. I think it is.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Thank you with your help.
Anybody have any further questions for Linda or Donna?
No.
Well, we thank you both for your presentation and for your work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, bills and communications.
We have 2 bills. Okay. Harland and Clark Orange Bank and Trust. That's office expense for a check order. We ordered some new checks, $103.75. And then Times Herald Record, we had to advertise our meeting schedule, which are in your packet, in the legal ads, and that was for $50. What was it? $50.20. Those are the 2 items.
Anybody have any questions about the 2 bills for Maria? No. Need a motion to pay those 2 bills. I need a second.
Second.
Roll. Mr. Brito.
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins.
Yes.
Mr. Cantoli.
Yes.
Mayor DeStefano. And I vote yes. Unfinished business this month?
No unfinished business.
New business. Maria, can you perhaps give us a little overview of our audit report and our annual report and our Paris report?
Sure. You just had the presentation from RBT on the audit report. I'd like to thank them as well for their work on it. So Patty prepared the annual report and Paris report, and I'd like to thank her as well for all her work on this. So if you go to, let's start with the annual report in your packet. Basically, these are reports that we have to submit to the state. And basically, if you go through it, I know all this was emailed to you. It describes our statute. It describes our board members and committees. And then we get into our mission statement and measurement report for 2020. which we adopt our mission statement annual. We have a list of performance goals. And then there's questions to be answered, like has the board acknowledged that they read and understood the mission of the public authority and acknowledged that by fiduciary duty statement. As you know, you get these statements by Patty that you guys have to fill out. So now you see how it goes into our reporting and it goes to the state. Then assessment of internal controls, management's assessment, which, an investment report, which we work closely with the RBT audit. And our structure, our flow chart. And then our accomplishments for 2020, we submitted the 2019 audit annual report in Paris to New York State. We did not have any projects in 2020. That's where they would be reported if we did any new projects for the year. And again, you have your performance measurement reports stating that we utilize open meetings, consistent with internet presence, and obviously this year virtual. We had a virtual meeting, so we kept the public in tune. No schedule of debt. There's no related debt. And there was real property transactions. There were none. So then this report, we fill out online. This is the Paris report, which is the public authorities reporting information system. This has to be filed by March 31st. Basically, a lot of questions regarding, the board of directors. We have to list everyone out, list your positions. There's a listing in here if board of directors get compensated and/or employees, which our board does not get compensated and don't receive any type of benefits. And then I direct you to page 10, which is pretty much this summary financial information, which gets placed from the audit to this reporting system. So Patty worked with the auditors in getting this put together, and it all connects with our audit that you just reviewed. We didn't have any real property acquisition this year, personal property. Then we get into we start page 18. You'll see our projects that we currently have. And you'll see this gets reported annually after each project fills out a form, information form. And you can see their total exemptions and what their net exemptions and how much their pilot. So basically, what their total pilot was for the year and what their benefit. And then also the job creations are recorded. So we have, Patty, we have 6 projects here, right? Yeah, we have the Danza Lesser Group, which is the former Horton Hospital, Toro College property. We have Equilibrium 1, which is on Henry Street, and Equilibrium Brewery 2, which is on South. And then we have Heritage Properties LLC, which is Clemson Brother Project. And SML Group, which is the Promenade, the assisted living on Fulton Street. And then Southeast Towers Preservation LP, that's on Fulton Street, the affordable housing high-rise on the bottom of South and Fulton. So page 25 will show you, we report 6 projects. We had total exemptions of $883,669.34. Total pilots paid, $275,334.86. Net exemptions, $608,334.48, and net employment change of 216. So then you have a couple other Paris reports here, which these are, if we get our guidelines reviewed annually, if audit investments, and we have to show our link to our webpage to the state. Also, procurement information, we had to fill out the same thing, gets submitted to the state with our procurement guidelines. So again, this reporting and the Paris report has to be submitted to the state by March 31st. And if you guys have any questions for me, be happy to answer.
So just to clarify, on page 25 of the Paris report, the net employment change, so we understand that 216 jobs have been created or retained through our 6 projects.
Correct.
Very nice, thank you.
So now,
Anyone else with questions for Maria?
No.
So then we're going to need 3 resolutions separate, right?
do we do 3, Patty, or just one? Just
One?
one, yep. I think it's in your packet, yes. Okay.
I read the whole thing?
Sure.
All right, so we do have one resolution. A regular meeting of the City of Middletown Industrial and Development Agency was convened on Tuesday, March 16th, 2021, at Middletown City Hall. And we have resolution number 2021-4. It's a resolution to accept the annual report, the Paris report, and audit for the year ending December 31st, 2020, and to authorize submission to New York State. I need a motion. Mr. Brito, thank you. A second?
Second.
Mr. Hawkins, thank you. Any questions? All right, I need a roll. Mr. Brito?
Yes.
Mr. Hawkins?
Yes.
Mr. Cantoli?
Yes.
And Mr. DeStefano? And I vote yes. On that, unless anybody has any questions, I need a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?